Like in my last videos, I've been transparent about being a crash out. I've been transparent about being a pick me. I've been transparent about asking for permission to like myself. I've been transparent about being a follower. You have to be transparent about being a complete disgusting person if you want to grow. Hey guys, my name is Nikila Serenity, and this is episode 4 of Nikila's Serenity. This segment on my channel is called Nikila's Serenity, not just because my middle name is Serenity, but because the definition of serenity is the state of being calm and untroubled, and also what I like to call unproblematic. Okay, today's topic in this video will be about why losing toxic people is an automatic win for you. So in the past year, I've been experiencing the loss of friends, the loss of loved ones, and the loss of family, the loss of respect for people, the loss of feelings for people. It's a lot. Like, I feel like I've been experiencing so much loss that I went into a place where I felt lonely at the time because I was losing so many people, and I've always had friends around me, and I've always had somebody kind of to call my own, like my own friend, And I had to start asking myself, like, I wonder if any of those friends were lucky to lose me. Was I toxic at a time to where it was better for them to lose me too? I almost forgot about the word of the day, so let's get right into it. The word of the day is pernicious. I know that, honestly, that sounds like how that word is pronounced. It sounds crazy, but pernicious. Pernicious. The definition of pernicious is having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual and subtle way. Let's get into some of these traits that makes a person a toxic person. The first one is manipulation. Toxic people will sit and manipulate you into thinking that you are the problem. You may have had multiple communication breakdowns and communication barriers in this specific relationship. The definition of manipulation is the exploitation of another person to get what you want. A manipulator can cause you trauma in the future when you're dealing with somebody new or a new friendship. And manipulators come in multiple forms. Manipulators come in little sisters. Manipulators come in parents. Manipulators come in men. But I promise you, everything starts at home. Whatever you look for when you go out into the world, 9 times out of 10, it is taught. That is a taught behavior to be manipulative, and it can ultimately turn you into a toxic person to be around. Don't nobody want to be around no manipulator, like, for real. It doesn't matter which way you want to put it. Manipulation is abuse. I don't care who told you wrong or who told you it wasn't. Manipulation is definitely 100% abuse. Another form of a toxic person is they are always negative. Like, I hate a negative Nancy. If it's one thing I hate a negative Nancy. And I can say that me now would hate the me then, because that's exactly who I used to be. A freaking negative Nancy. Like, just always bringing up something negative, and it could be the most positive situation. A person could be winning, and that is another thing. A negative Nancy, 9 times out of 10, if somebody is coming around you always being negative, they're probably a monitoring spirit. Don't nobody want no monitoring spirit around them, especially not me. Move around. Don't nobody want no negative Nancy around them, especially not me. Move around. People have to learn how to move around. And people also have to learn how to be true with themselves to know if they are more negative than they are trying to accept about themselves. In past relationships and past friendships, I have done a lot of negative things, said a lot of negative things to the people I'm supposed to 100% support and be positive around. I am supposed to be a positive space in my friend's life. So if I'm adding negativity, that's basically just adding fuel to the fire. 2 toxic people coming together and making a toxic situation. A toxic person is also dishonest. This is what I was talking about. Like, don't want to be honest with yourself about being a negative Nancy. You have to accept these things about yourself if you want to get out of that space of being a negative person. You have to not only be honest with yourself, but you have to be honest with the people around you. Lying, constantly lying. Like I said this one time. I feel like a child cannot be a toxic person. A child cannot lie. A child can impulsively answer a question. Because when you're a child, your impulses are at an all-time high. But once you start to be an adult, you're supposed to learn how to control those impulses even without the frontal lobe of your brain. I'm 21 years old. So the frontal lobe of my brain won't be done developing until I'm 25. But any impulsive thoughts that I have to be adult enough to control those impulsive thoughts. I have to be adult enough to be like, I can't tell that lie. I cannot impulsively answer so quick and lie. So like as an adult, you have to stop being dishonest because it becomes a habit so deep that I promise you will not be able to get rid of. A child cannot lie, but I promise you an adult can. And 9 times out of 10, that is a toxic, dishonest person. A toxic person will engage in any kind of dishonest behavior, whether it is deceit, lying, or general secrecy. There are a number of ways to be dishonest. Dishonesty helps toxic individuals mask their true feelings and manipulate the truth to create circumstances that support their needs. You have to trust your process enough to know that dishonesty will lead you nowhere but down a rabbit hole. Lying will lead you nowhere but a black hole. But I promise you, even if the truth is hard, if that even comes to secrecy, even if the truth is very, very hard, your next step is supposed to always be your next step. So whatever you did before you were very dishonest, or you have the option A or B to be dishonest, just know it's a path here and it's a path here. If you tell the truth, you never know what could happen. But being dishonest, I promise you, to lead you nowhere but being in a black hole by yourself, lonely, because you're toxic. I believe for the longest that I was a toxic person to be around, and that is exactly why I don't have friends now. I could sit around and blame, like, I just feel like a lot of people don't have the mentality I have. They're not mature. I don't know other 21-year-olds that I want to do this, that I want to do that. But in all, that's what turned off. But in all honesty, if I'm being 100, like, I am very, very toxic. I have always been very, very toxic. I have to be adult enough to accept that about myself, that I've always been a toxic person, and I've drove a lot of people away by being toxic, by not having the communication skills to communicate with my friend when something went wrong. I have manipulated. I have been deceitful. I have been all of these things. Toxic people will violate your boundaries, and then they will manipulate you into thinking that they didn't, or to thinking that your boundaries are just so, your standards are just so high and you need to lower them. And then you will start to lower the bar, all because they violated your boundaries or they violated your standards. They will violate you. Boundary violating. Some people will consistently push your boundaries over and over and over and over again. It can be hard to feel safe and respected with such folks around. That is so true. It is so hard to feel respected when a toxic person is around, pushing your boundaries all the time, pushing your buttons all the time. Like, this is one of those traits that I also have battled as a former toxic person. A lot of people, like in my last videos, I've been transparent about being a crash out. I've been transparent about being a pick me. I've been transparent about asking for permission to like myself. I've been transparent about being a follower. You have to be transparent about being a complete disgusting person if you want to grow. If you don't want to grow, then just leave my video right now, because my whole channel will be about putting myself on blast. I've had in multiple situations and friendships violated the people that I love boundaries. I have 100% a lot of the time violated the people that I love boundaries. And that is exactly why I believe in my heart that I am by myself today, that I don't have any friends today. Yes, my friends had their issues and they had their problems, but what I could have did better was create a space where we can be emotionally intelligent for each other. I could have added value to our friendship, but that'll only work if both parties want to do it. So I'm not mad that I'm by myself. I'm not upset that I'm by myself. Maybe when it was going to be time for me to grow, or be time for me to see like I could have handled this different, this and this different, maybe it was just that time to reflect back and don't go back. That's it. Toxic people have no concept or respect for boundaries. If you set a healthy, responsible boundary, they'll attempt to push it over. If you tell a toxic person where they hurt you and how they hurt you, they will do everything in their power to move around it and act like you are the problem. If you try to tell a toxic person that you want to set a boundary in place for them and them only, they will act like your boundary is completely BS and completely out of this world impossible. Not only will they cross your boundaries, I promise you, when they cross them, they will start to gaslight you. A toxic person love gaslighting a motherfucker like they a car. A toxic person love gaslighting a person like they are a car. Gaslighting, a form of manipulation. It can be used to isolate you from other friends by repeatedly making you feel like you are the one at fault. Like, clock it. Let's clock it. I have also been a gaslighter. Like, I have been a lot of these things, if not all of these things, in a toxic person before. For actually most of my life. It actually took for me to grow and then be like, I actually want to start my YouTube, to put myself on blast for all those times that I have been a toxic person, or I was being a pick me or a follower, or I didn't love myself. I want this to be my accountability. I want to be able, anytime that I'm feeling these ways again, I want to be able to come back to these videos and see how much I've grown over time so that I don't fall back into the trap. Don't fall back into the trap of being a toxic person, because I promise you, you will be by yourself and alone. Nobody wants to be around a toxic person. I have literally, I can name how many times I have been a negative person. I am negative Nancy. When it came to my husband, when it came to my friends, when it came to my siblings, when it came to situations that didn't even permit negativity, I was frontline being negative. I've been a gaslighter. I have made my husband countless times. I made him feel like he was wrong for doing something, even though I know for a fact it was me the whole time. Or even though I know for a fact I should be the one apologizing. Toxic people are abusive, whether it is physically or mentally or emotionally. Any form of abuse is definitely toxic. While you might be quick to think of physical abuse, emotional and mental abuse are very real when it comes to a toxic person. Abusive or controlling behavior could take many different forms. It could be threats, physical violence, manipulation, psychological aggression. It could be any of those things. Abuse is never okay. But I'm telling y'all, them toxic people and that abuse, they love it. Now, this is one that I cannot say that I have taken on the trait of. I'm not abusive. Whoa. About to put myself on blast. Denial. Babe, denial is a river in Egypt. I'm definitely abusive. Now that I think about it, I'm definitely abusive. I can be manipulating. I can be psychologically aggressive. I could mentally F somebody's head up. So, denial is a river in Egypt. I've definitely, displayed some abusive behavior in the past. I cannot lie. And the last one, I'm going to make this really short. I already said I wanted this to be a really short video. Very, very judgmental. I'm telling y'all, toxic people are very judgmental. While judgmental people tend to not want to be held accountable for their actions, they tend to be very judgmental towards other people. which is very, very true. Very judgmental. Toxic people are very, very judgmental. I think that's even one of like the things that that's one of the first red flags you will notice about a toxic person, is if they're judgmental over the top. Off the top judgmental. When you first meet them, they're judgmental. When you first meet them, they're talking about somebody, talking about how somebody look. They're very judgmental towards you. They're talking about your living conditions, and your living conditions could be perfect. You know, they could be perfect for you. Clean, you got a clean house, but they're gonna find something to say. You could have a car. They're going to find something to say about that car and be very, very judgmental. Toxic people are judgmental. They will make you feel like every time that they are around, they're judging you. They're judging you in everything that you do. With that being said, losing toxic people, automatic win. Lose those toxic traits within yourself also. And then you will be on the path to a W, babe. You'll be on the path to a W, babe. You will no longer be alone. You have to start not only learning to love yourself, you not have to only learn to love yourself, but you have to learn how to not be toxic. You have to learn how to not be negative. You have to learn how to love the space that you're in. You have to learn all these things, emotional intelligence. These are all the things you have to learn if you really, really want to be in a space to where you meet people that are on the level of life that you want to be on. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I really hope y'all like this video. It was just a short thing that was on my heart for tonight. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. If you guys watched the last video, I really hope y'all like it. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn that post notification bell so you get notified when I post. But don't forget to come on back to enjoy another episode of Nikila's Serenity whenever you're free.